Celeste is a 2018 platform game developed and published by indie studio Maddie Makes Games. The player controls Madeline, a young woman with anxiety and depression who aims to climb the Celeste Mountain. During her climb, she encounters several characters, including her personification of her self-doubt known as Madeline, who attempted to stop her from climbing the mountain. Celeste gameplay features fast and tight controls along the series of challenging platforming sub-levels that make up a large chapter. It follows the simple-to-learn and hard-to-master controls that are staple of its genre, and gameplay has often been compared to others like Super Meat Boy. The development of Celeste began in August 2015 when the game developers Maddie Thorson and Noel Berry participated in a game jam where they created Celeste for the Pico 8. Thorson, who served as the producer, and Berry, who served as the lead programmer, wanted to expand the Pico game into a full release. Celeste released on January 25, 2018 for Linux, Mac OS, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Windows. My name is Aisha. Today, I want to take you on a journey through visual stunning world of the game Celeste. This 2D platform has captured the hearts of gamers around the world with its remarkable visual style and design. Let me paint a detailed picture of what makes Celeste a visual masterpiece. First of all, Celeste embraces the art of pixel art. Pixel art is a digital form of art where images are created using tiny square pixels. This art style lends the game a retro feel, reminiscent of classic game from the 8-bit and 16-bit era. Second of all, the colorful, beautiful aesthetics. The game uses a wide range of color scheme to distinguish various parts and emotions throughout the game. Colors have an important role in portraying the story's emotion and mood. Third, the character design, and that's one of the most important. Madeline, the primary character, is portrayed in a pleasant and expressive manner. Her spirit is carefully crafted, allowing player to readily bond with her as she goes on her journey. Fourth, background and environment. The background in Celeste are beautifully created, ranging from calm upline landscapes to more frightening and strange situations. The background scenes not only offers visual appeals but also dimension to the plot. Fifth, visual storyline. The images in the game are used to depict the mental and emotional rollercoaster of the main lead, Madeline. Players may sense the hardship and success she faces on her ancient of Celeste Mountain by her expressions and changing locations. Last but not the least, atmospheric effect. Various visual effects are used to improve the game's atmosphere, dynamic weather pattern, changing conditions of light and particle effect. For example, all they contribute to the complete vivid experience. And so in conclusion, Celeste is not just a game, it's a work of art. Its pixel art style complemented by a vibrant color palette, attention to the character design, and captivating environments.
The sound designing of the game. Celeste's soundtrack combines the sound of piano and various other elements. The theme of the game includes struggle, self-discovery, and personal growth. The music was a journey infused with the character and the universal struggle, anxiety, and depression. Celeste's palette of piano and software synths came from the first pieces that was written for the game. The original concept for Celeste was much more centered around the 8-bit style. The original track, First Steps, was essentially a straightforward synth melody that was upbeat and catchy without utilizing the piano. The initial delivery of the idea was out of step with the pace of the game, so the tempo was slowed down and descending piano was added, which became the first sounds of first steps. There were no hardware restrictions, which is the whole reason the Celeste sound functioned. Celeste specifically make use of the felt piano from Spitfire Audio and the native instrument Massive, both of which are amazing instruments with a ton of detail. Celeste was greatly influenced by the constraints of the era and how those constraints prevented it from becoming as chiptune or 8-bit. The soundtrack as a whole makes use of dynamic mixing and track development, allowing us to develop a tune over the length of a chapter. The tune Anxiety, which emphasizes and captures the emotion of an anxiety attack, is the best example of the electronic elements. The theme of Madeline is a brief tense piano line that is overwhelmed by the synths. The initial intent of Resurrections, which is set during a lucid dream sequence, was to create an ethereal sound that would evoke a place that didn't seem real. One of the most unusual and difficult tracks ever composed is In the Mirror. A synthesizer with a strong sequence was created to match with Madeline's cosmic horror. In conclusion, every individual who contributed had their own challenges, which were mirrored in the narrative, music, and artwork. The self-reflection involves experiencing a panic attack and making every effort to break free from it.
The level designs and their challenges are the main characters' imaginary problems and personal improvement. They are not based on real geographical locations. Players learn more about the main character and her adventure as they climb the Celeste Mountain. For example, the game has levels with themes like peaceful woodland, windy cliffside, deserted hotel, and even bizarre locations. As Madeline battles her inner demons and looks for personal growth, each of these environments acts as the backdrop for her mental and physical health. Level structure. The levels in this game are divided into themes that include particular mechanics and challenges. As the players move ahead in the game, they learn important skills to master and go through them. For example, the first 4 chapters will be more focused with climbing and jumping, and later on, more elements are included, like wind, shifting of platform, and demon encounters. Checkpoint system. A major checkpoint system is used in this game to prevent players from having to retake that main part of the level when they fail. For example, the main character Madeline fails to avoid a certain obstacle in the game. So the respawn time is quick and the checkpoints are carefully placed. This pushes the player to keep trying and improve after failure. Optional challenges. Celeste offers a variety of optional challenges such as collecting strawberries, hidden secrets, cassette tapes. They are scattered throughout each level of the game to promote exploration. B and C side levels are optional levels. Those are even harder than the level in the main story. Those levels usually bring in new ideas and mechanics. They teach the player new techniques, making the platform more difficult. The first 4 chapters offer players a chance to become familiar with the game's concept because they are made accessible and easily understandable. The level of difficulty increases as the players move ahead, presenting them with more challenges and new mechanics. The first stages promote exploration and problem solving while also teaching the players precise timing and control and how to avoid things like enemies like objects and how to use those enemies like objects effectively. From chapter 5 to chapter 7, the middle journey in Celeste represents a significant portion of the game where the difficulty of the gameplay and narrative starts to increase. As Madeline continues her ascent of Celeste Mountain, it is a crucial part of Madeline's character development as she faces her inner struggles and externals head on. The difficulty continues to rise, demanding greater precision and skill set from the player. In these chapters, players learn new mechanics like fly for a few seconds, learn to coordinate while solving difficult puzzles. The final chapter of Celeste, the Summit, is a crucial and intensely felt part of the game. The wide-ranging checkpoint system in this chapter ensures that the player does not have to replay long parts in the event of failure. This keeps the game fair yet difficult. In order to navigate through dangerous sections, players must use Madeline's dash ability, quick reflexes, and precise timing to avoid a variety of obstacles, including spikes, moving platforms, rotating hazards, and more. These mechanics work together to create multiple and complicated challenges.
Celeste is a 2D platformer game set in a fictionalized version of Celeste Mountain featuring several areas. Madeline, the playable character, faces moving platforms, bottomless pits, spikes, and the biggest threat of all, herself. She can jump, dash through the air in one of the 8 cardinal and incardinal directions, cling to walls, and climb up or down for a limited time. The dash recharges when she touches the ground or touches a crystal. Hazards such as spikes and traps scattered around each level will kill Madeline with a single touch. Respawning is just as quick as dying, and the checkpoints are smartly placed to be forgiving. A character's run can be split into 3 parts: acceleration, top speed, and deceleration, which means once you start moving the character, how long does it take for the character to get up to the top speed, and how long does it take to stop once you stop moving the character. In Celeste, Madeline has ultra short acceleration and deceleration curves. It takes her about 6 frames to get to full speed and 3 frames to come to a stop, which is long enough to make Madeline feel human and short enough for her to almost instantly do what the player wants. Jump height of the character is calculated in terms of how high they can jump compared to their body size. We can also look at jump curve, noting the climb, hang time, and fall, which gives us a jump time. Madeline goes up and down very fast but has a lot of hang time, helping with the landing. She can jump up to 3 times her own height. Hold the trigger and Madeline will snap to a wall and climb it up and bounce for a springy wall jump. Climbing is detected by stamina system. Madeline has 110 stamina points, which is not shown to the players. It depreciates at different rates depending on whether you're holding still, climbing, or doing a climb jump. Hit the dash button and Madeline will fire off in the direction the player is holding, which is limited to 1 time in mid-air, represented by her hair turning blue. It can be replenished by either touching the ground or grabbing a crystal. Madeline's movement is hard-coded and written in Visual Studio with the help of Microsoft's X and A framework. The developers did not use built-in gravity or physics found in game engines like Unity, as they preferred to have precise control over the player's input. Variable jump height. Releasing the jump height early gives the player control over the height of the jump. Apex modifiers. At the apex of the jump, player is given a moment of anti-gravity as well as minor speed boost, which gives great jump control and allows the player to land where they intend to. Jump buffering. Jump buffering lets the player queue up next jump before actually hitting the ground. Kyoto time. Kyoto time lets the player execute the jump even after leaving the platform for a few milliseconds. Clamped fall speed. Clamped fall speed allows the player to control the character while falling. Clamping the full speed at right amounts provide the ability to dodge or land on platforms easier. Edge detection. Instead of hitting the character on the corner and bouncing back on the ground, the code nudges the character ever so slightly to go in the direction it was intended to go. The base game is made up of 8 chapters divided into multiple single-screen challenges with checkpoints in between screens. Chapters contain branching paths leading to optional challenges and hidden collectibles. The collectibles range from strawberries to crystal hearts that unlock certain gates. Certain chapters contain a boss character. Each chapter has a B-side level that reuses mechanics from the main level to create a more difficult experience. B-side levels can be unlocked by locating the hidden cassette tapes in its corresponding level. After completing all 8 B-sides, C-side levels are unlocked that are shorter in length but with increased difficulty. The Farewell expansion adds a new chapter that excludes B-side options and collectible strawberries and adds grabbable jellyfish that function as a parachute, exploding pufferfish that can launch Madeline, and double dash gems that give Madeline 2 dashes when collected.
Hello, I'm here to introduce to you my role as a producer in Celeste game. Let me give you a short brief about the theme and the storyline of Celeste game. The theme were inspired by Studio Ghibli films like Spirited Away. The storyline is when the player plays a game, the player should be treated the same way in a game about sadness and anxiety as they would themselves in real life. As a result, Celeste became a game about self-improvement and remembering to take care of oneself in order to prevent hurting other people. Therefore, initially I created various techniques before releasing the game. Number 1, project management. I was responsible for supervising the project's advancement, guaranteeing that objectives and benchmarks are fulfilled and the development procedure remains on course. Number 2, resource management comprises overseeing the team's financial situation, liaising with independent contractors or freelancers as needed for sound, music, extra artwork, for example, and make sure the group has the equipment and supplies it needs. Number 2, scheduling the timeline management, task allocation, and marketing plan. I would design and oversee the project schedule, establishing goals for development, releases, giving the development team assignments, and making sure they are aware of their obligations and due dates. I would be in charge of outlining Celeste's general marketing plan, which would include deciding on target markets and distribution avenues.